the expletive for you today. And today we're doing What of Bell's Reincarnation of Iron Man, Part 1. But I know you guys want to see What of Bell's Zoom Slayer. That's going to be uploaded really soon. So yeah, anyway. So we're on to the where Bell's, where the Lucky Familia is telling, well, the wolf guy is saying that kid's not even worth Isaac's time. That's when Bell begins running away. And when he gets into the dungeon, yeah, he begins fighting the monsters as previously, but something's different. After he was done fighting them, all bruised and bloody and cut, something happened. Time around him just stopped. And when Bell turned around, there was this person. He was wearing a fancy suit and a tie. And he looked like he was the age of 42. And that, my friend, is Tony Stark. But before you say anything, yes, Bell is the reincarnation of Iron Man, but Bell didn't know he was reincarnation. But due to this time, Bell is now gonna be talking to Tony Stark. But after that talk, Tony Stark's not gonna talk to him again. But anyway, I'll get to it. So, it's Tony Stark saying, "So you're my reincarnation, eh?" But Tony Stark saying, "Not as tall as I expected. I thought you and me would be in the same height." Huh. And the hair. As Bell's like, excuse me, sir? Who are you? Bell's saying. As Bell's like, oh, I forgot my manners. My name is Tony Stark, aka I'm you, so to speak. Bell's like, wait, how are you me? We look nothing alike. As Tony Stark explains that, well, I'm not you. I'm just you're my reincarnation, you see. As Tony Stark's like, what? Wait, Bell's like, what? As Tony Stark's saying, yes. But I didn't want to reveal myself because, I couldn't reveal myself yet. I want to see if your actions took place. And your feelings to that girl. Whew. I must say, me and Pepper fell in love a long time ago. And Bell's like, who's Pepper? And Tony's like, oh, that's my wife. So, but anyway, Bell, I'm gonna tell you something. As Bell's like, okay. As Tony Stark says, after I use the Infinity Stones, and Bell's like, what's the Infinity Stones? Then Tony Stark explains what the Infinity Stones are. Bell's like, oh, that's why. I mean, that's what those are. As Tony Stark says, okay, now, can I talk now? As Bell's like, yeah, I'm sorry. As Tony Stark begins to say, well, after I snap the stones, in like a minute, in a second, the whole world around me stopped, same as you. But I got approached by a being. Let's just say I met my world's god, and he says after I die, I'll be reincarnated, but some of my memories will be mostly erased, but I still have I can transfer my memories to you, what's left of them. But since I'm here, my I do have my full memories, Bell, but you're gonna get half my memories. And Bell's like, why? As Tony Stark's like, well, you see, I have to transfer half my memories because if I transfer too much to your brain, it may or may not like explode. And Bell's like, what? And Tony Stark's, yeah, my mind is a genius. No one can compete to it. And Bell's like, so I'm gonna be as smart as you then. As Tony Stark's like, yeah, basically. But half of that is actually gonna begin growing, and then it's gonna begin bigger and bigger for your brain, basically. and the more it thinks, the more you've become, the more smarter you get. Not smarter, just the more you understand my memories. But basically, if I give you half, basically, Tony Stark saying, you would just have my uh, IQ of infinity, basically. And Bill's like, really? Wait, infinity IQ of Bill's, and Tony Stark's like, yeah, but I'm giving you the part where I built my Iron Man suit, so you gotta. I'm gonna. This is gonna be fun, Bell. But I'm giving you my father. What my father left me behind. This blueprint for an arc reactor, a pure clean one. And Bell's like, well, wait, why are you giving me this? As Tony Stark's like, well, you see, my arc reactors back then were shit, and I had kept using my own arc reactor that was in my chest once. So I'm giving this blueprint to you, so you know, so this can be your first power source that's pure. Also, you may have to start on the Mark One. And Bill's like, the Mark One? What's that? As Tony Stark's like, but anyway, kid. After Tony Stark begins explaining the marks, but Bell doesn't understand them. But Tony Stark says, "Okay, so I just given you half my intelligence or half my knowledge. As the bigger your brain goes, the more I can put into it, Bell. Basically, Bell. Yeah, basically, Bell. You're just the reincarnation of me." But yeah, it's complicated. God didn't want to have all my memories because for a child to have that much, for a baby to have that much intelligence would be insane because it would probably melt their brain instantly. As Tony Stark saying to himself, Bill's like, okay. As Tony Stark just says, okay, I'm gonna send you back now. Tony Stark claps his hands together, and Bill's back, but he has a huge headache. However, he now sees no, he doesn't see, let me see, it's okay, he now understands everything. Like, he understands alchemy, he understands materials, he understands like how much money you can make like better. He didn't know how to make money, like how like numbers work, but those numbers have been enhanced and now he can like do calculating shit right now. And holy shit, because guys, I'm doing this because Bell has to make the Mark 1 to make the Mark 2. Mark 2, Mark 3, Mark 3, Mark 4. And the Mark 4 is actually the other version of Mark 3, but better, more improved. And the Mark 5 is the briefcase one. However, the briefcase one is going to be for the Minotaur fight. Okay. And, okay. Anyway. As Bell got down to the dungeon, as Hestia has been looking for him all night, she finds him, covered in blood and sweat, and some of his blood. When Bella said, "Hey, goddess, can I be a hero?" As Hestia's like, "Yes, you can." The next day, when Hestia woke up, Bell was fucking bolting, gone. And no, he wasn't gone. He's actually right in there, but he got a bit taller, probably a tiny bit more muscular. Because why? Because why am I doing that? Because if you think about it, Iron Man's pretty the same height as Captain America. So, well, not the same height, so yeah. But anyway, as she's like, Belle, you've grown. As Belle's like, yeah. However, Belle's let's just say his I don't know, his fucking pheromones are like, I don't know, insane. But anyway, I'll get on to the video. As Belle now begins saying, "Hey Hestia, can I look around this abandoned city?" And Hestia's like, "Go ahead, Belle. No one's even living here." So Belle begins scavenging around all of the buildings. he finds some metal pieces and some stuff. Also, if you guys, yes, first thing he's making is goddamn Jarvis, because Jarvis, he's the boy, he's the boy, he's our boy, guys, he's the boy. Jarvis is OP. Spell begins just like smelting them down, which he gave like Tony Stark's intelligence, so he knows how to smelt shit like much more efficient, like better. But he's gonna make it like a shitty version, but it will work. As Bell, as Bell was beginning to, I know. As Bell was beginning to smelt some components using a fucking cauldron and a fire pit. After he managed to get that to a temperature that it would be melted, Bell was using one of the abandoned. Yeah! I'm sorry, guys. My mom's trying to ruin the video. Oh my goodness. Give me a minute, dog.
Those dishes, okay?
Sorry, guys. I have to wash dishes, so excuse the noise in the background.
Well, you can wait a few minutes to finish your video, but I'm just saying, like, you made a mess, you gotta clean it up, right?
I know. Sorry, guys. Let's get back to the video. Gosh. But anyway, let's get to the video. After Bell didn't manage to smelt all the metal, he begins putting it into to concrete-looking things. He begins putting it into some dirt that was shaped in shaped in like a torso, and it was bent. As Bell begins pouring it all in there, after Bell came, after Bell left for a day, he went back to the dungeon and went to go kill some more monsters. However, when Bell was climbing up the stairs, the Loki Familia was right behind him. However, they noticed that Bell got a lot more taller and a bit more muscular, just a bit. However, I was just like curious about how did he get that tall in just a day, like 2 days ago. However, because you know how Bell like predicts, you know how Iron Man like knows, like analyzes, like how like in Captain America, Iron Man versus Captain America, how Tony Stark used his suit. Let's say Bell has that feature, but he doesn't have the helmet yet. But yeah, no, what? Fuck it, he uses glasses because let's just say he made those, but it took took him like all night to get it all working properly. So Loki Family was like, what the hell is he wearing glasses? But no, because glasses are fucking to predict his enemy's next moves and analyze them so he can know what to do to counter them. So Bell went to the mid floors fighting more monsters. However, he fucking destroyed them because after Bell was analyzing one of the monsters' moves, it was the same type. Bell understood it. Bell understood everything. So yeah, he's like now his fucking mind's like getting more and more, smarter, more advanced, more aware. After that, Bell had about probably like hmm hmm 80 80 180 Valis. Yeah, there you go. As Belle is smiling, walks out the door. However, when the Loki Amelia came back, they noticed that Belle did not have a scratch on him. However, Belle's gonna. Okay, guys. The Crozone guy, he's gonna join Belle's party, but let's just say he's gonna help Belle make the Mark 32 because hear me out, because the Mark 42 probably could took because it did take Tony Stark probably like years to make the Mark 42 because it's the combination of all the Iron Legion from Iron Man 3. Like all the suits are all combined in that suit. Why? Because I know Bell could build it, but at the same time, he has to know what kind of materials would work for him. But in this world, it's different. The materials in this world are a bit different, so yeah. But anyway, as Iron pulls onto Bell's like as Bell like as Iron pulls on as Eyes pulls on Bell's like arm and just Bell looks at her just with the glasses just like, "Oh, hey Eyes," as Bell's like saying hi. I was looking for me and I was like, "What the hell is she doing?" As Dusty was like, "Why are you wearing those glasses?" As Bell's like, "Oh, you wanna see?" As Bell takes off the glasses and puts them on Eyes, as Eyes just sees everything. She looks when she first puts it on, she just sees a bunch of blue things on the thing. It says analysis. Target. 50 or 75% chance. Weakness. Left knee. Very weak. Successful rating of incapacity 100. As Belle takes back the glasses and just says, "Anyway, see ya." As Belle walks away, as Eyes is like, "What the hell is that? Is that some type of legendary item or fuck no?" Belle's like, "What the?" Belle's saying just like, "Jesus, jeez, I know it's like a thing, but it's not legendary. I built it." As Belle's saying to his head. As Belle gets back to the church, he says hi to Hestia and gives his valets to her, but he takes 50 valets though. As then he begins. Oh, he begins forging the Mark One. But he did make the Jarvis though. He begins making Jarvis using fucking copper wire and some fucking. He made like a vacuum tube and some stuff. So yeah, after Jarvis, just like an old classic Jarvis, like the audio's like shit, just like sir, good to see you again. My name is Jarvis, and that's what Jarvis sounds like for now. As Bell's like, "Jarvis, upload yourself to this suit. It has better capacity. I did manage to make some circuits that are from some circuits and some chips. You might as well install yourself to the Mark One." As Bell begins typing, Bell now begins transferring Jarvis. Jarvis's AI to the Mark One. It's still wonky, but it's good for Jarvis though. As Bell puts on the glasses and gets into his suit, just says, "Okay, Jarvis, arc reactor test. Testing now. Arc reactor, 100%, sir." As Jarvis says, "Wow, sir. You're all right, sir. Oh, it seems this suit is a bit clunky. You all right, sir? Sir, congratulations. You've now successfully made the Mark 1. And now Jarvis is kind of getting each armor that Bell makes, it gives Jarvis more. It gets more smart basically, and it gives Jarvis a newer kind of look. But for that suit, Jarvis cannot autopilot it at all. He can't tell Bell. He can only talk to Bell though. So after Bell was testing the Mark 1, he begins testing the flight thrusters. And then Bell he hits the button, begins flying, just says, "Oh shit." Bell's like, "Woo!" As Bell's like, sir, as something came off of Bell's, is like, Jarvis, what was that, sir? It appears one of the cables is snapped off the arm, sir. As Bell's like, what? But I thought I screwed everything in. As Jarvis said, sir, we were missing a piece. Bell's like, damn it, Jarvis. Damn it. Jarvis, could you try to land me back to the ground safely? As Jarvis is calculating, sir, we have a 32% chance of survival of landing. Bell's like, okay. As Bell begins falling out of the sky. As Bell begins, okay, Jarvis, when I say hit the thrusters, do it. As Jarvis says, very well, sir. As Bell says, warning, ground reach in 3, 2, 1. Now! Jarvis hits one of the thrusters and lands in front of the church. However, Bell is like, okay, that was dangerous. And Hestia came out saying, what the hell is this? Who are you? As Bell takes off the helmet and says, hey, Hestia. As Hestia's like, Bell? What are you doing in that thing? And Bell's like, I made this. As Hestia's like, where did you make this? Bell says, well, I used some metal from the old houses and scrap metal I found around this city and the abandoned parts. So, as Hestia's like, so, what did you? So you made this, Bell? And Bell's like, yeah, pretty much. As Hestia's like, so, are you gonna use that in the dungeon? Because that looks like a piece of junk, Bell. Hestia's saying as Bell's like, of course not. Well, I was planning to, but at the same time, I would rather, as Jarvis says, sir, power at 58%, power at 5%. As Bell's like, uh-oh. As Bell, like, begins, like, turning off the suit for Jarvis, because Jarvis needs, Jarvis so needs a new suit. He needs the Mark II badly. As just like, who was that, Bell? As Bell says, well, that was Jarvis. I made him like a while. I just made him today, and I was testing him out. So, yeah, but he needs a bigger thing to hold him. So, yes, yeah, I have to make it for him. So, yeah. As that's just like, so how's long is that gonna take, Bell? As Bell begins saying, well, it's gonna take probably a few days because I have to install them somewhere, and I want to install them in the church. So, as Hestia's like, fine, Bell, but make sure you don't cause too much of a commotion. As Bell's like, thank you, Hestia. As Hestia's like, it's no problem. As now, Bell goes back to the dungeon, but he now, oh shit. He goes back to dungeon the fourth day, and this what he now has Jarvis inside the glasses. Bell, it took a lot of like time and effort, but Bell did it, and he was tired. So Bell told Jarvis what would be the effective way to make me sure I don't go to sleep. Jarvis says, "Well, sir, since you did manage to stuck me into the glasses, sir, I have noticed some things. What? If you limit your stamina enough, sir, you may not be able to fall asleep until this mission's over." As Bell's like, "Okay, let's get to it then." 5 minutes later, done. As Bell begins walking down, and cashes in again. Now he has $250, and everyone's like, "Wait a minute, is everyone sure this guy's not level 2 or something?" So sus. Everyone thinks he's sus for some reason. As Bell begins going back to his thing, he first goes to pay. He wants to buy some stuff. So First, he wants to buy some copper, some aluminum, some titanium, some basically all basic shit you need to make the Iron Mark II, basically. And basically, Bell's gonna have a fucking hard time because he has to make the thing that puts on the suit mark the the fucking things that you have to put on the suit though, so that's gonna be a pain in the ass for him to do, and I'm gonna describe how he does it. So if you guys really like that one, just please tell me in the comment section, please. But anyway, after Bale got everything, the lucky familia didn't notice his purchases, his first purchase. They looked at the list and they saw this list like saying, "That's a lot of materials." However, Eyes asked for what he requested, and what the guy when he what he said was like, yeah, basically this stuff and this from the alchemist, and the guy's like, and it's just like, what, that really? But that's basically useless. No, 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 not useless, because Eyes doesn't know that stuff that Bell bought from the alchemist is actually way more fucking useful to him than anyone in the city. As Bell begins telling Jarvis to as Bell begins asking Jarvis where the mainframe should be for him, as Jarvis says, "Sir, I believe one of those floorboards would do." As Bell begins ripping out the floorboards underneath the old church, and then he begins filling it with some type of like metal plating around the edges, and then begins hooking up some wires through the wall, which Hestia wasn't there, so as she was beginning to put through a lot of wires and stuff, he did manage to make a mini arc reactor, like yeah, a mini like no, let's just say it's a medium one. However, that did take him about 3 more days. It took him about the mainframe took him about six. Took mainframe took him about 2 days. However, the arc reactor 5 days, because yeah, after Bell manages to get everything installed and make a room for the mini arc reactor that was hidden from Hestia, which Hestia doesn't know about, and it's soundproof so she can't hear it. So yeah, as Bell got done doing all that, as now Bell begins firing up the mainframe and grabs the little chip that's in his glasses, because that chip took Bell weeks to make. I'm gonna no, it took him like probably like a lot of, like stressful. It took him like it's like 2 days. It was stressful, hardworking, and yeah, that just took all his time. Like literally, just it was like a pain to do. So yeah, but Bell put the chip in, and Jarvis was now a holographic screen, as the wooden floor platings now cover was now covering the mainframe, because Bell made a secret door out of the old planks, yeah, basically. As Bell made some little holographic things to display Jarvis, and that mainframe did take now is now like an Iron Man suit, but the mainframe is gonna be a bit more downgraded though. So no, it's not downgraded. It's gonna yeah, but the smarter, the more Bell upgrades Jarvis, the more processing or the bigger the server he needs. So yeah, basically. But Bell manages to do that one thing because he had to make Jarvis first, because Jarvis has to deploy the metal arms, like deploy like the attachments to put on the suit. As then Bell says, "Okay, Jarvis, are you online?" As Bell's like, it takes like just nothing comes out in the next few minutes, and like says, "Jarvis, are you there?" As Bell gets up and just about to check the pound, just says, "Sir, I'm online." And Bell's like, what took so long?" As Bell's running, as Jarvis says, "Well, sir, it appears that there was an error. It just got fixed now, sir. Sir, also, I've received your schematic, sir. So we're building the things here." As Bell's like, "Yep." As then Bell begins making the arms for the attachments, but Jarvis was actually helping Bell make it now, because Bell did manage to make a little rover that had arms that could do it. So that took when Hestia got back, she was like, "Oh." As Hestia looked at the little orange thing floating, Hestia was like, "Whoa, is that?" As Bell's like, "Yes, this is Jarvis. He's now a part of our familia. I hope you like him." As Bell Hestia's like, "Whoa. So is this the AI? Wait, is this Jarvis? Because he sounds really different." As Bella's like, "Yeah, that's because I upgraded him a lot. That's because I gave it a better mainframe, better stuff, and da, 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 da." It explains all that. As Hestia's like, "Oh, um, that's a lot to process." As Bella's like, "Yeah." As Bella's like, "Also, I'm installing these. You see these like little like part thingies I ordered from the alchemist and the blacksmith." And Hestia's like, "Oh." As how much does this cost? They both cost probably like $50 each, so I paid for both of them. As just like, "Oh, okay, Belle." As she was like, "Well, I'm going to sleep." "Don't make too much noise." Goes downstairs and goes to sleep. As Belle's like, uh, "I'm gonna have one hell of a fucking day tomorrow." As Belle, however, I noticed that Belle is not coming in and out as often. Because usually he's be gone like a few days, and yeah, just that. After Belle got the fucking the got the machine to deploy the Mark or to install the Mark II onto him. Yeah, to say Belle got that done in the next fucking probably like next 2 weeks. He finally got it finished, and he was so exhausted, but he had to keep going. So Belle went back to the dungeon. You know what? He took like a one nap, and it recharged him. He goes back into the dungeon and he puts on the glasses. But Jarvis actually made something for Belle, which Belle didn't know. Jarvis installed a signal antenna so Jarvis can see what Belle sees and like tell him what to do in the combat. Because now Belle doesn't need Jarvis to be inside the glasses. Belle just has to be now. Belle has like an AI that has insane fucking range. Like Jarvis can go fucking long. Like let's just say he can talk to you in the middle, like in the whole city. That's how far his range is. But however, I know I want to continue, guys, but my mom just scared me. But anyway, after Belle after Belle went back to the dungeon, he got more Valis this time. He stayed for 3 hours, and yeah, he got 550 Valis now. It raised up to there. And however, people were getting people were like wondering where was Bell going with all his money. Everyone thought he was going to go gamble with it, but Ice knows what he's been spending his money on. Just basic materials that you need to be forged with. So, yeah. As Bell buys materials from the alchemist and the blacksmith, and buys the pieces that he ordered them to make, which they didn't know what they were. They were just like pieces of metal that looked like a man. But Bell made like the little endoskeleton basically, because Bell made that by himself. No, he actually Jarvis did help a bit. So yeah, as Jarvis made a little thing for the Mark One. But however, Bell now begins going back to the church with the materials, and then Jarvis grabs them with the robot he made, which was just has wheels and one arm. So yeah, after Jarvis put them in, Bell hit the button and deployed and was looking at the Mark 1. But since Jarvis was getting smarter, Bell had to make his mainframe a bit bigger, so he did by 5 by hmm 5 5 inches, not 5 inches, probably like about, let me think, 50 more inches. There you go. 15 inches or 15 feet. I can't remember. So anyway, after that, because Bell was doing that at the same time, so now Jarvis could deploy the hologram, and then when Hestia came back, she noticed that Bell was doing something. He was making stuff well it wasn't there, and Hestia's like, Bell, wait, is this some type of sorcery, Bell? And Bell's like, no, it's just that it's a hologram, Hestia. Basically, it's a hologram. And Hestia's like, a hologram. So and Bell's like, yeah, basically, I'm making a suit. I'm making my Mark II right now. So, because Bell is wearing the glasses as well. As Bell now begins constructing the Mark II. However, Bell did. However, Bell remembered his predecessor did not put the paint on for the Mark II, so Bell put on a paint for the Mark II. But that paint is like a different like. Yeah, Bell had to make it, so yeah, it's still silver. It's still silver, but now it can go into the sky though. So yeah, as as Jarvis now begins like as Jarvis now begins grabbing the pieces, polishing them, like the armor for Bell. Oh my gosh, Mom.
Still making video?
Yeah, gosh. You guys, I just made muffins actually yesterday, so yeah. But anyway, I'll get on to it. As Bell, as Jarvis says, Sir, everything is all operational. It took us about 2 months, sir, but we did manage it. Bell's like, yep, we did it. And then Bell says, okay, Jarvis, suit me up. As Bell begins to walk in the center of the church and begins like spreading out, begins doing a T pose, but he's been stretching out his arms. He begins stretching out his arms and his legs, and then the robot arms begin attaching the suit to him with the endoskeleton that Bell made. As then Bell was built as Bell made. I know. As Bell just got finished, as Jarvis got done putting on the suit for Bell, as Jarvis put on the finishing touch, the helmet. As Jarvis put on the helmet, and Jarvis was like, "Sir, this suit is running at full capacity. Power output 100%, sir." Detect cal and Bell says to Jarvis, "Calibrate the suit and check and run a diagnostic or system check." As Jarvis begins doing that, and Jarvis says, "Sir, all systems functional. All systems are functioning at full capacity. Ready when you are, sir." When Hestia, because Hestia just got back to the door, got back from her job, and Hestia saw the silver guy, and she's like, "Who are you?" As Spells like removes like hits the button on his left ear on the helmet, and Spells like, "Hestia, it's me," and Hestia's like, "Oh, Bell, did you make this?" As Bell's like, "Yeah, what did you think I had the metal pieces, the pieces the metal shaped armors for?" And Hestia's like, "Oh, um, are you gonna wear that to the dungeon?" As Bell's like, "Yep, but I gotta test out my flying capabilities." As Hestia's like, "Wait, you can fly in that?" As Bell's like, "Yep." As Bell begins walking outside the church with Hestia, as Bell begins says, "Okay, testing out the thrusters in 3, 2, 1." As the thrusters begin lifting up Bell, And Bell begins, okay, Hestia, I'll be off to the dungeon, but I gotta calibrate the suit first. As Bell begins flying up into the sky, as he begins circling around the town, calibrating the suit, begins looking at everyone. And the little boy's like, Mom, look at that. And the mom's like, what, sweetie? As mom looks at the silver, as a silver purse, as like a something that, like something, okay, a silver person wearing some type of suit, flying above them. And everyone's like, what is that? As Belle drops down to the ground in front of everyone in the dungeon, wearing the Mark II. And Belle says, Jarvis, is the calibration complete? Sir, calibrating complete. As he begins going up to the counter and just says, I wish to go to I wish to go into the low floors. And everyone's like, what? As, no, as Bill, like, unmasks himself, just says, as Noah, let's just say the Loki Familia were like, their jaws were dropped when they just saw this guy was flying into the sky and landed in front of them in the dungeon. And like everyone in Loki Familia like wondering who this guy is. As Bell takes off the helmet, just says, "Oh, you guys don't remember me?" As everyone's like, "Bell," as like, "Hey, it's that kid that I saved." As Bell's like, as Bell's like, whatever. As Bell begins talking to the lady uh, that was like helping her, like the elf lady, as she begins like saying, "Well, okay, you can go up those stairs and go up the floors." Bell's like, "Thanks." As Bell puts back on the helmet and begins, and Bell knows that there's like a long lineup and through the stairs, and Bell's like, "Fuck it, I don't need stairs." Bell begins flying straight through like in the center of the stairs and begins going past everyone's like settings. And everyone's like, "How? Oh my fucking god, what is that thing?" As Bell gets onto one of the lower floors, he scans the area and asks Jarvis if there's any monsters nearby. And Jarvis says, "Sir, I detect multiple enemies in front of us and to our rear. Shall I test out the weapon system, sir?" As Bell's like, "Do it." All you could hear in the mid floors was like some like explosions and some like weird like blasts. After Bell came back for in the next, I don't know, 5 hours, he has more like crystals now. And everyone's like, how the hell? And he now has like 1,950 lapis, like lapis now. I can't remember the name for the currency. I had it before, but whatever. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it off there. If you guys really enjoyed this, hit the subscribe button. If you did like this video, please smash that like button. It helps this channel a lot. I'll talk to y'all later.